Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on digital marketing trends. All right, so first of all, want to talk a little bit about SCORE Montgomery County, who's hosting this webinar. Montgomery County SCORE has been serving the local community at 6 different locations. You can get free business counseling and ongoing mentoring. We also offer a series of educational workshops like this that we're doing right today to help you grow your business or start your business. So I do encourage everyone, if you do not have a SCORE mentor, please put in the chat that you would like to be contacted by a SCORE mentor, because we'd be happy to get you in touch with someone who can tell you a little bit more about how SCORE can help you start or grow your business. And remember, it is free business counseling and mentoring, and it's a great resource. I'm Donna Botti from Delos, and we're based in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. And what we do is we make the web work for you. So we do website development and digital marketing strategy and implementation for our customers, with an eye to how do you use this platform to grow your business. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So 2019, it's going to be a great year, and I want to make sure that you have the plans and information that you need to figure out how to take advantage of all the trends that are out there. So today, we're going to run through and talk about these different areas. I'm going to give you an overview and talk a little bit about the framework you should have to think about your digital marketing, and then your messaging and your content, your list, your search visibility, and your social channels, because all of these things together kind of make up digital marketing today. So let's talk about overview and framework first. It's really important that you cover the basics when you start this. You should really have a coordinated effort and not treat all of your different marketing efforts as separate channels. Nobody has time for that. It takes too long to do it. So the important thing is start with a plan. What is it you're looking to accomplish? Who are you talking to? What do you want them to do? And then create a calendar based around that. It's sometimes overwhelming to people to hear they have to create so much content. And what I tell people is, if you're creating 1 or 2 pieces of content a month, at the end of the year, you've got 12 or 24 more new pieces of content, which are helpfully helping you in search and on social and get new business. This is a process. It's not something that you say, okay, my digital marketing is done. I've created my website. I put up my couple posts on social media. I don't need to do anything else. So coordinate your efforts, use the calendar, and definitely have a plan to know what you want to accomplish. How will you know if it worked if you don't know what it is you were trying to achieve? So start with that. Now is a good time, the end of the year, we start thinking about what we're going to do for 2019 to come up with that plan of what you want the goals for your business to be. What are you trying to achieve? And as you coordinate your efforts, I have to tell people, make your website the center of your digital marketing strategy, because the website is what you own and what you control. If you put everything on Facebook, for example, and then Facebook changes the rules, which they have done a few times, by the way, what happens is, you now have to pay to get to users that like you. You don't have direct access to those people. The website you own and you control, and you determine the content and the format. The other thing I tell people is that, social media is great, email, absolutely, positively necessary and a great thing. But did you ever try to find something in your email or on social media that you saw 6 months ago? It's just not possible. It's not set up to do that. Whereas if everything has a home on your website and you promote out from there, you have a better opportunity to reuse that content, be found in search, and it's a much better approach. And the other reason is that, these channels on the outside are very fickle. They have changed. We have changed the social media icons on here a number of times. And as a matter of fact, getting ready to change this again. Google Plus. Google announced will be shutting down completely in the middle of June. If anyone is still using that, that's coming up next year. However, we're going to add onto this wheel Google My Business. Google My Business is the old Google Places, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what to do there. But note that Google now lets you put offers and posts and coupons that will come up right in search. And so this now has to be added to your consideration. But again, if we didn't build everything on Google Plus, if we were just reaching out from our website, it's okay that we get rid of that channel and we add a new one, because we still have that content on our website that is our core messaging to be able to push out to a new channel. And then with your website, there are 3 basic things that you need to do today. It has to be mobile friendly. We are seeing, 75, 80% traffic coming from the web on a mobile device compared to desktops today. And I don't know, how is that in your experience? Do you find yourself, as you are looking things up as a consumer or user, using your phone or a tablet more and more, and the desktop less and less? You would not be unusual in that regard. So your website must be mobile friendly. Google now has a mobile first index, and they will actually downrank you if you are not mobile friendly. The other 2 things that are really important, especially on a mobile device, it has to be fast and the website has to be secure, which means today you should see a little lock icon when you visit your website using what's called SSL for communication. It encrypts the traffic between the server and your browser. Let's just say that it is a must for businesses today, because over the summer, the browsers, Google started indicating any site that does not use this is now marked not secure. And again, that does not engender any trust if you are a business. So make your website the center and make it mobile friendly, secure, and fast, and coordinate your efforts. Save yourself some time. Don't think about, what am I going to do on email? What am I going to do on Facebook? What am I going to put on my website? It all has to be part of the same plan, and it's okay and recommended to use the same messaging across all the different platforms. So that's the overview. Let's talk a little bit about your messaging and your content. It's a really noisy world out there today, and we are really good at tuning out anything that is not relevant to us. So one of the most important things that you can do is really take a look at and know who is your ideal client. Not everyone is your customer. You can't reach everyone, and you shouldn't try to reach everyone, because really you'll end up reaching no one. We look at and react to things which are really specific to what our concerns are. So knowing who your ideal client is and knowing their problems and their pain points and what social channels they use and how they get their information allows you to create messaging that reaches those people. In order to stand out in this noisy world, you need to be very specific and relevant to the ideal customer you're trying to reach. And then you need a content plan. So when you come up with a content plan, What are you looking at? There's definitely evergreen type of material. We call that information that does not change. It's not topical, like Happy Thanksgiving, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. It's something that will be relevant today and then 6 months from now and maybe a year from now, maybe even 2 years from now. Typically your core services, information about how to choose things, how things work, that will all be evergreen. Then there are topical type of things. It might be, a new law that's passed that's relevant to your customers, or something happening in your community. Also, seasonal and holiday items. It's fun to put on there. Today, I think, is National Cookie Day. Okay, it's great to have a little post with your favorite cookie or something like that. That's probably something you wouldn't put on your website. You would put that on your social media channels. Some topical information you will put on your website if it's a community event you're involved with. And then you also want to think about recurring features. This helps you to plan your content and get content up and running a little bit faster, because you can kind of have a format for that. Maybe it's the featured employee of the quarter. If you have a bunch of different products, maybe there's a product of the month that you then focus on that particular product. Think about what kind of recurring features that you can use. If you, sell a particular food product, you might do a recipe of the month with that, or a recipe of the week. Come up with things like that to shape your content plan. It's going to help you get the content done a lot quicker. You can also then do it ahead of time as well. So when you have a content plan and our featured product of the month in 2 months is the XYZ product, if you have the opportunity right now to take like a great picture of it or do a little video on a how-to, you could, I'll do that right now and I'll save it because we'll post it at that time later. Also in your content plan, consider search engine optimization, or SEO. In other words, how do you want people to find you? How are they going to find you? What words are they using? What questions are they asking? Are you answering those questions with your content? You should have a plan to figure out that, yes, these are the things, and we do have content for the most common questions that people are asking, and you just put that in your plan. And in your plan, you want to strive for engagement and relationship building. So your content that needs to be valuable for people. It has to be useful, educational, entertaining, informative, and promotional too, because obviously we want to get business. But you cannot have a plan that is promote, because people will tune that out in a heartbeat. It's also important that you use a variety of media. Video is really important. You're going to hear me saying that a lot on this thing. It's something that you should put on your plan for next year. But you can also do podcasts, are really important. Images, stories on social media, which are like quick little vignettes that use a variety of media. Your text content is fine too, and long form text is fine as well. People will read really long articles, especially if it's has meaty content into it. So think about all of the different information and different ways that you can apply your content and repurpose your content. If you do a video, you can do a text transcript of it. You can do a couple graphics to promote that video. You can take the audio of it and make a podcast, so you don't have to start from scratch. But it is important today that you do use a variety of media. And throughout all this, you must consider the user experience in everything you do, because that's what it's all about. How is your customer or prospective customer interpreting you, finding you? How easy is it to do business with you in an online world? You have to integrate online and offline, and you have to do it in a way such that people find it's very easy to do business with you? How can you make the experience easier and more pleasant to work with you than to not do it? And, that's basic things like how much information are you asking them for on forms? How easy is it to get in touch with you? How easy is it to take the action you want them to take? Any barriers you put up make it more difficult. So consider what this is like from the user. And I want you to think about how, when you order something or get in contact with something or go look something up, when you go to a website or do a search, like I wonder what time that coffee shop closes today. If you go and you find the hours immediately and they are the correct hours, that's good. If you go and you can't find anywhere where that particular business, what the real hours are, aside from like calling them on the phone, it's annoying. And maybe I'll just go somewhere else because I couldn't find the answer. So pretend that you are looking for your product or service and try to find out the information you would want. How do you make a call? How do you order something? How do you take the next step? What's it like doing business with you? So if you notice, I've spent a lot of time so far talking about your messaging and your content and your plan. And the reason for that is if you don't have a content plan and relevant messaging, you are wasting your time. The rest of the marketing efforts you do are not going to come to fruition if you haven't really thought about what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to talk to, and what you want them to do, and then creating valuable messages and information that will speak to those people. So that's your takeaway from the messaging and content. The next area that I want to talk about is your list. You have to be able to directly contact your customers, your prospects, and your fans because, it's nice if people find you on the web, but how will they find you again to know that you have a new product or offer? Or it's great they saw your social media post this week. Maybe you're running ads. They saw it then, but I didn't need it now. I need it 3 months from now. How are we still going to find you again? Oftentimes we do business with like the last person that contacted us. And there's a lot of studies out there that show, it takes like 7 to 11 touches with a person before they even really become aware of you. So how can you get consistent messaging to people? Well, you've got to be able to contact them directly. And this goes back to the wheel that I was showing you and the changes the social platforms make when, Facebook changed around continuously saying, well, people only want to see their friends and families. If you want them to see your business post, you're going to have to advertise. Well, you spend all this effort building up thousands of likes or hundreds of likes on your page, and now your posts don't even reach those people. So what can you do? Reach them directly. And what you want to do is, again, know your goals. You're going to get traffic. You're going to get conversions. But there's 3 types of traffic on the web. There's paid traffic, which is advertising, which works great and will bring you, to your site or to your offer. But when you stop paying, that traffic goes away. The second type of traffic is earned traffic, like a viral social media post or something like that. And that's a good thing to have too. It takes time to build that up. But your goal with the paid traffic and the earned traffic should be to convert it to owned traffic. In other words, getting that person's name, and increasingly today, what that means is get their email address. Get their email address so you can contact them directly. Email is actually still the best ROI out there. We hear a lot of things. Email is dead. It's, nobody uses it, this and that. Well, I hear oftentimes, especially, this year when there's been so much negative information about social media in the news, oh, I'm taking a break from social media. I'm not going to do this. Well, did you ever hear someone say to you, I'm going to take a break from email? People are in their inboxes every day. But to get the best ROI, you need to be consistent. You need to deliver value. And you need to keep it short and link to more details. We only spend a few seconds on an email. We get a lot of emails, but it is the way to keep your awareness there. It does work. But again, people will want to open and read your emails if they know that the information is going to be useful, informative, educational, entertaining to them. And you can have an offer as well, but if your email is offer, there's a couple of retail stores that I never open any of the emails I get from them until I'm ready to go buy, and then I look for the biggest coupon. You don't want to be that person as a small business. So email is important. Although what's happening on the horizon is really the rise of like chat bots and messaging directly. There are ways, you can now hook up Facebook to Messenger for businesses. Chat bots are some ways to get a little bit of automated response to common questions that people have. Artificial intelligence is not really right there, like making it seem like you're a human, but being able to order stuff or get more information on something or even sign up for your email list, a chat bot is a way to go. There's some cool ones out there. There's the makeup company that lets you like try on different types of, colors of eyeshadow and things like that, just all through a chat thing that you're interacting with. You're not interacting with a person, but yet it's still a useful experience. One of my sons had a temporary job this summer, and it was a local staffing agency. They had a really good use for a chat bot. After he had submitted his application, he got an email that asked him to, hey, do you mind? We have a few questions we'd like you to answer. Could you just, complete this thing because we're interested in talking to you. And so there were a few, it was a chat bot. There were a few questions that he had to answer about availability and experience and things like that. And because I guess, there were several paths, because he had actually answered with the information they were looking for, they actually also offered him an interview, and could he schedule it right then? So like 5 minutes after he had submitted the application, he then had an interview the next day, and it was scheduled and everything was done. From the staffing company point of view, they did all the pre-screening automatically and had a body coming in to interview for the job who they felt have already met those pre-screening requirements. And we're going to do that. We're going to see a lot more stuff like that happening. I think it was a Gartner group study that felt that like 80% of all interactions between us and companies were going to take place with a chatbot or a robot in like 3 years or something like that. I'll have to look up the study and send it out to you guys on email after this, but it's definitely something that you should be looking at right now. And you don't have to write chatbots from scratch. There are a couple of companies out there, a number of them, that lets you set up your own chatbot really in a matter of minutes. So it's something to consider. So on your list, always be building your list. You want to have a strategy. Again, how are you getting customers' email when they come into your place of business? Are you getting them? Do you have that fishbowl, win a prize if you enter in or sign up, or get a coupon if you do, or people you meet at networking events, or on your website? Do you have a lead magnet? You need to get that owned traffic. You need to be able to contact people directly, and you should have a strategy in place for how you're doing that all the time. And 2019 might be a good time to experiment with chatbot and messaging as another channel to get a hold of people. So I often hear from small businesses, they're like, oh, I don't know, we don't have time to respond to a Facebook message or this or that. I got someone on the phone. Again, if you have a person on the front desk or on there whose job it is to answer the phone, somebody's job that day should be to respond to messages online as well. Make it part of the process. Every time you treat all this stuff as something else you have to do that you're not integrating and making it be useful to your business is something you'll never have time for. So that's a key part here. And if you're not using email marketing and you're not using it consistently and you're not getting the results that you want, please put in the chat right now that you would be interested in a free trial of email marketing from Constant Contact. We are a solution provider for them and can provide for you a customized template as well as guidance on how to make this work effectively for you. We definitely see the results, but it's got to be those things that we've talked about before. You've got to have things be consistent. You need to have valuable messaging, and you need to keep it short. People say, oh, well, I send a quarterly newsletter. That's not enough anymore. A monthly newsletter is not enough anymore. You should be at a minimum 2 times a month. If you have enough content and be able to do it, you should be able to do weekly. But again, very quick things every week, not something that is going to take a lot of people a long time to read, and not something that's actually going to take a lot of effort for you to create as well. So if you're interested in that, please let us know in the chat. We'll be happy to get you set up with that. All right, my commercial is over. Let's talk about your search visibility. Because again, when we want to buy something or we want to get a service or we start to research what is it that we need to have, we typically start with search. And so how do you become visible for search engines, whether that search engine is YouTube or Google or whatever people are using, or maps are really important as well. So you have to cover the basics. That's a baseline thing that is important. And one of the important things is, especially in local search, is citations. What citations are is basically your NAP. References to your name, address, and phone number, and I'll add website to that too, on the web, across the web. Whether that's in a TripAdvisor directory, it's in Google, your Google listing, it's in other search engines, it's in some of the what's called data aggregators. There's big data aggregators out there. Factual's one, InfoEase, there's like 4 or 5 of them who compile information on businesses. Are you listed there? Is your information correct? Your phone number should be consistent across things. So that's like a baseline thing that's really important for search. Beyond that, you need to understand that the search engines are in the business of answering the questions that people ask. If I went to Google looking for information on a particular product and every result I went to didn't give me the answer that I needed, I wouldn't use Google anymore. So we have to make sure that what we're doing is answering the questions that people have, because then our content will show. So what kind of questions do people add? Well, understand that search queries are much more conversational today and much longer than they used to be. A while ago, you might have, put in a thing that just said, Nike shoes. Well, today you probably go, Nike shoes, women's, and then the color you want or the particular model you want. We ask things of the search engines much more conversationally. On YouTube, for example, one of the most common queries starts with, how do I? How do I fix a running toilet? How do I, find the right type of insurance for me? They're long queries. Voice search is also impacting how much more conversational things get. I don't know if anybody has use like the Amazon Echo device or Google Home, or even just on their phone, Siri, or talking to the Google Assistant to query information in that way. So you have to be aware that queries are becoming much more conversational, and you want to have the content on your website have the answers to those queries. If you never use the words or cover the answers to the questions that people who want your product or service are asking, you will not show up in search. So in order to do that, you need content. And so content on your website, but I'm going to say also content on Google My Business. Google My Business has evolved a lot over the past number of years. They used to be called Google Places. Then they were sort of rolled into Google Plus, and you needed a Google Plus page and to be part of Google My Business. And then they split off completely from Google Plus. As I mentioned earlier, Google Plus is shutting down in 2019. And now there's been a lot of emphasis on developing Google My Business as a standalone product. It's about search, and it's also all about the maps. Everything to do with search is often location-based. If I search for a pizza shop near me, it doesn't show me Missouri if I am in Pennsylvania, because it knows via location where I am. Near me searches are really, really common. So it's important that you are on the map. So if you have not claimed and verified your Google My Business listing, that should be the first thing you do when you get off of this webinar. If you've already claimed and verified your listing and haven't looked at it for years, which is a common thing because there was nothing else you could do beyond that, you need to get the Google My Business app or go on to the Google My Business website, because now you can put a whole lot more information about your business. You can put services on there. You can put posts. You can put frequently asked questions. You can manage reviews there. And Google is really starting to use this information. You can update your hours. It has a special feature for updating holiday hours. So it's right automatically updated. If I go, hey, what time's that coffee shop opening? And then it'll say, oh, we're closed for the week of Christmas to New Year's. It'll show right up in search when I do that immediately. The posts allow you to do offers, events. Now, these posts only are live for like 7 days, but it's increasingly obvious that Google is using some of this information in the search results. So you do want to take advantage of it and add this as a regular channel. You can now put pictures, you can put videos, all kinds of stuff. So again, it's just another place that you're posting that content you're already creating for other areas. So this is an important one for this year. Also remember, YouTube is the number 2 search engine. Do you have a YouTube channel? Are you using video? If you do a Facebook Live, you can save that and post it to your YouTube channel as well. Repurpose the stuff. And then get reviews in a consistent way. You don't want to say, oh, I'm going to go ask 50 people for reviews and then I don't do it again. Make it part of your regular process. Reviews that are too bunched together tend to look like ones that you paid for and maybe are not valid. So it's consistently getting reviews over time. 10 reviews consistent over time is better than 20 at one day and nothing else for another 2 years. And links still matter. Make sure when you create content on your website that you're linking to other relevant content on your website and that you're getting relevant external links. If you are an interior designer, are you on Houzz and does that link back to your website? Is there TripAdvisor that links back to your website? Is there Chambers that do it? Is there somebody in your industry that, shows you're an industry expert linking back to you? So it's important to keep that in mind. They're not quite as important as they used to be. They used to be the number one thing. They are still important, but again, from a simplicity point of view, cover these basics, make sure you're working on your Google My Business and your citations are correct. Okay. Takeaway from your search visibility, let Google know you are alive and keep letting them know. That means updating your website on a regular basis and claiming your business listing and updating Google My Business regularly, and have a strategy in place for reviews. They're becoming more and more important to visibility and consumer decision making. All right, last topic that we're going to talk about is your social channels. So many social channels, so much change all the time. It's a good idea to periodically reevaluate what you're doing, the results you're getting on the channels, and how the channels themselves have changed. For example, Google Plus going away. Snapchat was really popular for a while till Instagram started doing stories too. If we're a business point of view, is that still the place to be? You just have to evaluate what's going on. You don't have to be everywhere. You need to look at where is your ideal client? What are they using? And that's where you should focus your efforts. So Facebook is still the most popular, but it has been in the news a lot and not necessarily in a good way. There's all this privacy scandals and selling of your data. It's become something I've talked to more people in the past year who go, oh, I don't use Facebook anymore. It's still the most used item, but it is something to keep aware of, that the shine might be off of it for a lot of consumers. Facebook groups, though, are still a really important way to organically reach traffic. Whereas posts in your newsfeed don't reach a whole lot of people, posts in your membership group do reach the people in that group. And it is something that you may consider if having a community around your business is important. It's also a good way to join in Facebook groups that are relevant to your audience, because you can understand here a little bit more about their concerns, see the kinds of questions they are asking. You could be a resource in there, and also can inform what you should be doing in terms of content. Go live. Facebook Live video gets a lot more engagement. Go live, especially in your groups. Do you have a regular office hours, questions and answers, special things? And Facebook ads may be a good investment for your business. Because organic reach has really fallen off a cliff for regular things, it's a good way to reach more people by doing ads. You can target specifically, but again, like everything else, you want to have a plan with ads. If it costs you $5 a lead, and out of those, you spend $100 to get $1,000 client, $1,000 profit, you should do that all day long. If if it's the other way around, if it costs you $1,000 and you make $100 sale, it's not a good approach. So you have to know what you're trying to accomplish, what the value of a customer is, and put the ads in place. Just randomly boosting posts, it can be okay if you're only spending $5 on something like that. But as a strategy to really use ads to drive more business, you probably want to be using Ad Manager and doing a more targeted presence. The next social channel I want to talk about is Instagram. Instagram has 1 billion monthly users now. It is second only to Facebook's 1.4 billion monthly users. Images matter here. A lot of people who have left Facebook, oh, I'm so over Facebook, I went to Instagram, and they always get like a kind of sad look on their face when I tell them, Facebook owns Instagram, right? But it seems to be where a lot of people are spending more time. Images matter on Instagram, and so does a consistent look. Some brands use the same filter every single post they do. It kind of gives that overall grid having a feel. Video is important here too. And as are stories. Stories are little short vignettes of, can be mixed media. It can be a video plus a picture plus a texting. So stories are becoming much more important than the news feed in there. And now Facebook or Instagram has the ability to pin a story to the top of your profile. So if you wanted people to have some like your about you story or a particular product story, you can pin those to the top of your profile so that they are always available. Otherwise, they disappear after a day. Use location tagging. That's another important thing to get more traction in Instagram. And hashtags are really important in Instagram. People can follow hashtags. Lots of hashtags are used. The best engagement seems to be with about 10 per post, and longer hashtags are actually working well. Now, Instagram is an advertising channel as well, and you can create and target ads through Facebook, whether that's, sponsored stories or ads that appear on Facebook plus Instagram or Instagram only ads. Social media in general for businesses is becoming more of a advertising platform as opposed to a free reach platform. You can still get free reach, but it's more difficult today than doing that. And then again, I'm just going to repeat video on your social channels. How's your YouTube channel? LinkedIn now lets you put video in. Even on Google My Business post, you can put a video in there. People are consuming video like crazy. And it's videos without sound or regular videos, live videos where people are talking as well. So you really need to think about, if you're not doing anything with video yet, how am I going to integrate video into what I'm doing? And if you're interested, we have some ideas for you. We have some lower cost ways to get into it. We can help you out in terms of figuring out what you should be doing, what the technology that you should be using. It doesn't have to be a barrier. It can be as simple as your phone. But what kind of content should you be creating on video to get those results? So your takeaway on social channels. Social users are fickle. What channels match your ideal client today? It's good to periodically look at this. It's not the kind of thing where you can say, this is where, this is where I am. I'm on Facebook only, and I'm going to stay on Facebook only forever because Facebook changes, right? That stuff where you control everything about it is your website. The rest of the stuff you have to keep an eye on and doing that. So I see a question from Sharon on what the recommended length of a video posted on social media is. And I'm going to tell you that, videos should be short, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, a 30-second video, maybe if you've got like a lot of information in it. Now, YouTube, a video can be an hour. And you can also kind of chop up some longer videos you have to do shorter vignettes on social media that link over to the full video. So again, that repurposing of content. And, but again, if we're scrolling by in a feed or we're going to watch a story, we're not going to watch your Instagram story that's 3 hours long. Now, going live, people will do longer things on a live video. So the answer is it depends. If you're grabbing their attention, it's got to be shorter. If it's a more in-depth thing that, let's say you have a Facebook Live, I'm going to go live. You advertise ahead of time. This is when I'm going to go live. Here's the hours that I'm going to be there. So I hope that answers your question. So again, 2019, what is the video strategy that you are going to create and implement? If you're not doing it now, you need to think about that and put something in place. Start figuring it out, because that's where really everything is heading. So I have an overall summary, and then we'll take some questions. Coordinate your efforts around a fast, secure, and mobile-friendly website. Get all of your main messaging and content there and promote it out through all the other channels. Focus your messaging and have a content plan that delivers value. People will tune out automatically that sell, 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 sell. There's a thing that says everybody likes to buy, but nobody likes to be sold to. So think about your buyer's journey, the information that's useful and helpful to them during all the different stages of it, and have content that relates to those questions they ask, the information they need, and then also about you, right? Because people do business with people and they want to have a relationship with them. So build your list and communicate consistently. Consistency in all of this stuff is really important. Consistency in your website posting, your Google posts, consistency in your reviews, consistency in your emails, consistency in your social media channels. So much of this is really about showing up on a regular basis, because so many people don't. Regularly use Google My Business and have a review strategy in place. And social channels are the place to experiment. So pick the right ones for your client and start using video.